still have over 200 people watching right now from around the globe, and I'd like to give you, maybe your last inspirational message for everybody to leave them, with whatever you want to,
Sure.
to touch them today.
Sure. So, mga 5 minutes lang po ha. I hope everyone stays and nobody leaves me. This is a very important story from my heart and my life. And I want to share it with you, all of you. And it's really about my identity, my intentions, etc. In the year 2005, just about the time I met John Calub and Lloyd Luna and uh, Pocholo Gonzalez, the whole Barcada, I had just begun to start as a motivational speaker that time. I didn't know what a facilitator was or what a coach was, but I wanted to be a motivational speaker. And John would remember because I did one for them at the Philippine Cultural Center or something, and which was never recorded, but it was really good. So this lady, she invited me one day. She said, Raju, I need some work done in the north of Luzon. Day after tomorrow, I need you to run a whole day for a bunch of school principals and administrators, about 200 of them, and I would like you to come there and do this work on your favorite subject matter. I said, my favorite subject matter is leadership, 2005. And that means the English of leadership. You know what the English is? When you play 8 ball, di ba, meron English, parang positioning ng leadership. So I said, I can do leadership or I can do stuff, creativity. She said, do leadership. And I said, why do you want to call me day after tomorrow? She said, well, because my current speaker or facilitator for that day, she has backed out. And I said, what was she going to do? And she said she was going to talk about the English language. Sabi ko, pare, English language, the whole day about subject, verb, noun. Boring yun, no? I said, that's not me. No, I cannot do that. She said, okay, never mind. You come and do what you can do. Great. So I drove out for 2 hours north of Luzon, and I was brought to this barangay hall, and there were about 20 tables. 20 tables, and each of the tables had about 10 people. So mga 200 senior, katulad ni Professor Rese, mga admin, principal, teachers. And they were all sitting, and this person, she introduced me. She said, ito po si Mr. Raju Mandian, magaling siya, galing siya sa abroad, international speaker, blah, blah, blah. And so I went up on stage, I got a mic, and I began to do my work. When you have a classroom, you do games, you do icebreakers, and you ask questions, you create groups, etc. And everyone was liking it. Everyone was enjoying it. Everyone was learning, right? And how much did I get paid? Nada. Siguro I could feed 10 of my friends for pizza. That much how much I was being paid. Pero passion ko yan. Katulad sa inyo, passion ko yun eh. Gusto ko yun eh. Ha? Yun ang intention ko. Yun ang identity ko. Gusto ko yan. So I was doing it. Then, one of the tables sa dulo, sa kanto ng mga yung hall ng barangay, they were not participating. That means every time I said something, ganun sila. Oh, ganun sila. 20 of them on one table. 10 of them on one table. And so at lunchtime, as a facilitator, as a speaker, you try to involve everyone. That's the process. And I couldn't involve them. And I thought that's pretty crazy. Why can't I involve them? I'm funny, I'm clear, I like people and I'm doing good stuff. Lunchtime, lunch break, I went up to them and I said, mga kapatid, mga kaibigan, kamusta na kayo dyan? Sabi nila, okay. And I said, how's things going? They said, okay. Parang they don't want to talk to me, right? And I said, are you enjoying the workshop? Okay lang. And I go, what's the challenge and how can I invite you to be participating in the workshop. How can I have you answering question or smiling or like you right now, you're participating, right? So they said, we don't like what you're doing. I said, what do you mean? They said, this is not the subject matter we came to attend. We came to learn English. We didn't come to learn leadership. Oh, I said, that's correct. I said, but the person who was the organizer, the event organizer, she introduced me and she mentioned the fact that the previous speaker was not coming and instead we have a replacement speaker. She said, the 10 of them said, we know that. We don't have an issue with you. We have an issue with the organizer. She should have given us the speaker we wanted. I said, well, that's out of my hands. You heard her, I was introduced and I'm doing my thing. So I said, let me call the organizer. Maybe you can talk to her again. So I called the organizer and I said, Ma'am, meron silang mga problema, meron silang gusto ng iba. And they began to talk. They didn't begin to talk. They began to fight. They began to quarrel from 12:15, 12:20, all the way up to 3 p.m. Bossing, some of you might have run workshops and seminars. If your 200 people are not talking and you are the one who are supposed to facilitate, what do? Ako naman, dahil gusto ko yan, dahil dedicated ako sa akin craft, akin profession, I went and I stood by the wall. I'll show you. I went to the wall and the whole day I was standing like this. From 12:15 till 3 p.m. Andun ako, sandal sa pader. And the 200 people, these 10 were fighting with the organizer, blah, 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 sabi mo ganun, nangyayari ganun, bakit ganun, yan. The other 190 people slowly began to leave the hall. Some of them went out to smoke. Some of them went to the palengke. Some of them were not coming back. And they were hanging around, talking to each other. At 3 p.m., second break naman. Diba? Merienda break, 3 p.m. I went up to these 10 people. I said, excuse me, can I ask you a few questions? And they said, okay. I said, is it true that you planned to be on this session today, almost a month ago? Did you sign up? They said, yes. And I said, did you spend money to come here? They said, of course we did, no? And I said, did you also tell your family and your friends that today you will not be in your office, in your schools, but you'll be here attending a seminar? Sabi nila, of course, yes, we did that. I said, okay. Now, let me ask you the fourth question. The fourth question is that from morning, since the time that I was announced as the speaker until 12 noon, you heard people, you heard me, you heard people. Do you think that people were learning and enjoying? And this time they said, maybe, sabi nila maybe. I said, well, what you heard, do you think that was valuable? And then they go, maybe. They don't want to say yes. They go, maybe. I said, okay, in that case, may I have a request from you? And sabi nila, okay. I said, okay, you know what? I have 2 hours left from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Allow me, if you feel the other 190 people or maybe learning and enjoying, allow me to finish my task. Allow me to finish my project until 5 p.m. At the end of 5 p.m., if you feel that I did not provide value to you, if I did not create enough learning for you and your team members, then I will pay you back not just what is being paid to me, but everything that this lady collected from you. Mayaman ako noon, right? I'm a former businessman. Probably, 200 people would have been 200,000 pesos or 100,000 pesos. I didn't know that, but I was being paid very. Sabi nila, okay. So at 3:15, I went back on stage, I picked up the mic and I began to talk and I continued playing activities, etc., etc. 5 p.m., 5:15 p.m., sarado na, maraming salamat, etc., etc., there was a gentle round of applause. Not huge. Okay, people didn't go, wow, galing, galing, galing. Wala. Ganun lang. Hiya, parang hiya ang tao. No? And the first ones to get up and go from the hall were these 10 people. Bigla nakatayo sila, lakad out. Right? And the others, 190, slowly, parang shy sila, no? Bye, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Huh? Labas sila lahat. I'm standing there on the stage. Then, this is what happened, my friends. And I know you're in the same business as I am, many of you. One young lady, mga 25, she comes up to me. And there were tears in her eyes. She says to me, sir, I'm a young teacher, she said. I've been teaching for 2 or 3 years. I have never seen, I have never heard, I have never experienced such dedication to the craft. I have never seen such patience that you expressed here today. Sir, because of what you did today, sir, I will forever be a teacher. Yun ang sinabi niya sa akin, pare, mga kaibigan. I swear to you, there were tears rolling down my eyes. And that girl, for heaven's name, I can't remember her name. I was so embarrassed. I was so taken up. But she walked out on me. And after she left, I felt my heart begin to grow big again. No? And that's 15, 16, 17 years ago, my friends. And that's why, till date, today, anytime somebody invites me for a workshop or a speech or whatever, I put my heart out because I want to impact that one person, that one teacher. She connected with me many years later from LinkedIn, and she said, hi, Sir Raju, I'm still a teacher. No, I'm so sad I don't have her connection, but I hope she hears this. I hope one of you connect with her. And I think life is about that. Life is about making an impact on at least one. Once you make an impact on one, then thousands and millions become easy. And that impact has to be authentic. It has to come from yung mga loob ng puso nyo. It has to be part of your identity. It has to be part of your intention. It has to be part of your soul. So whether you make pandesal or whether you sell flowers or you make cheeseburgers, make sure that whoever you feed your flowers, pandesal, or cheeseburgers to come back to you and say, because of you, I'm gonna do this. Yun po. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Yun po ang aking kwento para sa inyo.
All right. So one more time, let's give a round of applause to our coach for today, Coach Raju. Wow, that was very, very inspiring. And for me personally, it really touched me. Thank you very much, Raju. And I'm sure that the over 200 people watching right now were also, moved by that very powerful story. Really, when it's a true story, when it's your own personal experience, it's a different kind of sharing, and I honor you for that, for boldly sharing that. For other people, they won't share that anymore because of the it may be a negative experience, but in your case, you were able to see the value in what happened to you there, and it's now like a something that other people can get inspiration from, because there are a lot of people we're going to encounter when we do business, right? And we always a lot of people fall into the trap of trying to please everybody.
Yeah.
But as you said, if we touch maybe 1 or 2 lives along the way, that begins the bigger trend later on to touch the lives of thousands and even millions in the future. So you must not give up at the first sight of any adversity that is being thrown to us by the world. Thank you very much for that lesson, Raju. Let's give Raju a big hand. All right, so guys, Raju, by the way, we have an online mall, and if in the future you want to help us, we have around over 20,000 community members now in our community, and a lot of people were asking in Facebook where they can get a copy of your book. We'll be more than glad to work with you to actually market your book to our community. So maybe we can discuss offline how we can possibly partner for that. And okay, yung mga nanonood dito, anybody wants a copy of a physical copy or maybe even an ebook of Raju's books? Raju, can you just quickly before you get off screen, what are these 5 books again?
So my number 1 book is The Heart of Public Speaking, which I wrote in the year 2005, and it's about really mind mapping and public speaking, but really speaking powerfully. Then the second book I wrote was about humor, which was presented in John Caleb's TV show many years ago. Then the third book was this one, Pitbulls and Entrepreneurs, and this was written because the University of the East asked me to make a speech to their students, graduating students, on how to become entrepreneurs. And this whole thing that I presented to you was a speech in the year 2009. No, it's a book. And it was such a beautiful presentation that they wanted me to make a book out of it. The fourth one is called The Heart of Story. The last story I told you about the teacher is in that book. And that was because Bo Sanchez asked me, Raju, I want you to teach storytelling to my pastors and my preachers. So nasulat ako isang libro para sa yung annual Kerygma conference niya in the year 2014 or 15. And we sold hotcakes on the first day. Yung first printout ko sold on Kerygma conference. And then the last book I wrote in 2015 or 16 was The Heart of Close, which is on sales and sales coaching. And it is really based on neuroscience. It's my best book because after 4 books, I became good at writing good books. And the 5th book is really a very powerful book. And, you know, I mean, each one of them are different, but the last one is kapal siya, ganun, tapos may mga frameworks and models. So these are my 5 books. And they're all available on Amazon, by the way. Amazon USA is medyo mahal. You go to Amazon India, they're very cheap. But you can buy them, I think, from you can buy the online versions, the ebooks from my website. I don't know if I can ship you books from where I live in Laguna right now, pero I'm going to find a way to ship books, but I'm not sure if many people are buying physical books anymore because it's so hard to deliver. Tapos wala naman tayong conferences na yun puro ganun lang. So ebooks available po.